name is Kyle Markus, and I actually live here in Sacramento County. Voting to me it's kind of twofold. It's a privilege. I feel like there's a lot of people in this world who don't have this opportunity to safely have their voice heard, but I also see it as a responsibility to make our voice heard and make sure that the right things are happening and that our country is moving in the right direction. So the first time I voted, I actually was a college student, second year at Boise State, and I was just becoming aware of the world, I think. And I think I showed up in like flip-flops and basketball shorts, but I had been watching the news and I realized that I needed to get out there and this is something that was important that I needed to do. Well, my life has changed quite a bit. I'm not a college student anymore. I've grown up a little bit, I have a big boy job. And yeah, if you're talking about the world outside of just me, it's gotten more complicated, I think. After COVID and everything else, it's gotten darker. There's things that really matter and there's things that we need to make sure we're moving in the right direction on. Personally, I vote for those who can't. As I said, there's a lot of people around the world who don't have this opportunity to safely have their voice heard, but even in our own country, there are people who don't have the option to vote. And there are at-risk communities who, even if they do have the option to vote, they're still at risk. And I think it's my responsibility and all of our responsibilities to make sure that those people are protected and that our community is safe. I think it depends on why they're not voting. I think if they just don't think that their vote counts, I think it's really important to know that there are a lot of votes and a lot of elections in history that have gone down to one vote or a dozen votes or 100 votes. So every single voice being heard can change the future and the world. So I think that's really important. But also, currently I feel like I hear a lot of people saying that they just don't like their options and they're choosing between two things they don't like. But when if you choose not to choose, who are you protecting? Yeah, I think the most important way of doing that is by going and voting, making sure that you are speaking up for your community, you're speaking up for your loved ones and for your neighbors, and making sure that those candidates who are preaching hate don't get into office, and that those propositions that are going to prosecute people don't get passed. And the only way we can do that safely is by going out and voting, using that privilege and that right. And that's what I would do.